This is Chris Palme here at Toronto Argonauts training camp at Alumni Stadium here at the University of Guelph, and I have a special guest this morning. He is a friend of mine and the co-host of the Argo Bounce Podcast Show with myself. His name is Nick Small, and we're going to get Nick's thoughts on training camp day one here at Alumni Stadium. Nick, how you doing?
Doing great, Chris. It's a new season, a lot of positive energy. Of course, the Argos are coming here, having won their Grey Cup last year in BC. So it's back to step one. Everybody looks really excited. There's a ton of positive energy here. Everybody's ready to go for another year and hopefully make it Grey Cup number 20.
Seems like a long off season after winning the Grey Cup in November. So how excited are you about day one of training camp here at Guelph?
Yeah, as a fan, it's phenomenal. We had absolutely perfect weather for it, as you can see. Everything just seemed to come together today to make a perfect impression on the new rookies. Coaching staff, everybody's all really positive and optimistic.
Thoughts on the Toronto Argonauts off season with some of their free agent losses and pickups and just overall grade of their draft by the Argonauts organization here?
Yeah, there's a lot of great things to cover out of how this offseason went for the Argonauts. The big change is going to definitely be defensively. They lost a number of individuals, almost their entire D-line and defensive back core has changed, but they've also made some really good additions. Cameron Judge complementing Wyndham McManus on the linebacking core is going to be huge. Offensively, they're very much the same. They've picked up a couple new pieces here and there. Kevin Brown as a perfect example to kind of help back up Kadeem Carey in the running back position. And then draft class, I thought it was a really good balance this year of balancing between getting players who are going to be able to play right away, immediately. Jeremiah Ojo has been here in camp along with a couple others of their draft picks, and but they've also got some pieces that they might be able to acquire later on down the line.
Out of the CFL draft picks, who do you think could step in for the Argonauts this year, possibly?
Yeah, I think based on how their draft went, I think it's safe to say that Jeremiah Ojo from the Montreal Caravan is probably the most game one kind of ready starter that they could have if they need him to be in that role. As we kind of saw Kevin Mattal last year, he had the playing ability to start, but there were injuries and stuff that kind of complicated things. I will go on as an aside here and say that he looks like he's going to be a beast this year. So there's that thing from last year's draft to look excited for, but I think a lot of these rookies that they've signed up will have potential to play in, especially the ones they've drafted on the defensive side. With there being a lot of holes that have opened up on the roster, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Do you feel this team could win their third Grey Cup in 4 years, and what would you tell Argonaut fans to look for from this team this year, the 2025 Argonauts?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of questions coming into this season. We know last year how the season ended for Chad Kelly with his injury in the Montreal game. But like that being said, they've still got a very talented offense. Defense is going to be very interesting to watch. There's a new defensive coordinator. But they've got the opportunity to put a new scheme in. And I've said it before on our show, it really helps in the fact that now you're not predictable because you're not playing the same scheme that you've did the year before. And it has worked with Toronto in the past. This isn't the first time we've lost our defensive coordinator, as we saw with Corey Mace being gone 2 years ago. So there's a lot of opportunity there still for success, and we're certainly still a playoff contending team.
What are your thoughts on Chad Kelly, and do you feel he'll be ready for the regular season on June 6th against the Montreal Alouettes? And what do you expect to see from Arbuckle and Dukes as well?
Yeah, Chad Kelly has been present in camp. He didn't throw a ton. He's not taking the sort of live contact reps like guys like Arbuckle or Dukes have been. So I think it's just maybe playing a little bit with an abundance of caution. The last thing you want is your starting quarterback to be out for the season in training camp. So I think they're progressing, and there's probably still a lot of elements of rehab to it that he's going through. Not to speculate. But yeah, there will definitely be the requirement for Arbuckle and Dukes to play at the beginning of the season, I think, until the team, Chad, and management, the coaches, everybody kind of agrees that he's ready to go 100%. So do expect some play from Arbuckle and Dukes to begin the season.
Do you feel the Argos are still the team to beat in the CFL East?
Yeah, I would say so. I think you compare it with what the Argonauts have done and compare to the challenges that Montreal, Hamilton, and Ottawa have all kind of respectively dealt with. I think the Argonauts have handled their situation better than the other three teams, and I think they're in position to win the East Division again. I don't see any reason why they can't be. They won't be like a 16-2 team like they were 2 years ago. Don't get me wrong on there, but they can definitely be a team that'll be able to win the division and host the East Final again.
And then finally, Nick, what are you looking forward to see from the Argonauts in training camp and preseason before the regular season opens up against Montreal on the 6th, and then their home opener, I believe, is on June 14th at BMO Field?
Yeah, I think whenever this camp starts, it's always fun with me and fellow other fans, friends of mine. We love to have the depth chart out and play the who would we cut or who would we save if we were in that role of Pinball or Dinwiddie who have to make those tough decisions. But one of the things I really like too after practice, and you can see with us being out here on the field, it's really accessible. And just today, Pinball was inviting us to come out into the track area when they were done practicing. So what's really the coolest thing is the level of engagement that you're able to have as a fan with these teams. And that's why I love the CFL, and I encourage more people to become fans, to come out to events like these. You can shake hands with your heroes, guys like Coxie or Daniels or Winnie McManus or Jack Kassar or whoever, and actually get to know them as people aside from what you see in the games.
And finally, Nick, any plans to return to the Argo Bounce podcast show this season?
Oh, you bet. We'll be doing the podcast show for another year. You can guarantee that.
All right. Well, Nick, thank you so much. And again, where can people follow you on social media?
Yep, on social media, you can either follow me through X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, or Instagram. Nick_small_38 is the best way to reach me.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And final thoughts?
Go Argos.
Perfect. Thanks, Nick.
Take care.